Raise your hand if you remember us talking about animal basic needs. Okay. What are they? Go ahead.
Shelter.
Shelter. Food. Air. Water. Those are the 4 basic needs of an animal. Today we're going to learn about the 4 basic needs of a plant. Okay. What do you think a plant needs to survive?
Sun.
Sun. What else do they need to survive? Shelter, possibly. What else do you think? Soil. Water. Okay, so what is soil? You know? Who knows what soil is? You know what soil is? What is soil? It's dirt. That's where they get their food from, okay? So plants, instead of animals eating it, plants get it from the food, dirt. Alright, what about sun? Why is sun important for plants? It helps them grow, yes, absolutely. The sun also gives them the food and nutrients they need to come and grow. What else do you think is important? We said sun, soil. What else was there? Water?
Yeah.
Why is water important? Who knows? Okay. So, right. Yes, the water goes into the soil, into the roots, and then goes up through the roots into the stem so that it can grow. Great job. And the last one, we said shelter. Does a flower or a plant need shelter? What do you think? Does a plant need shelter? No, because it's outside. So we said sun, soil, water. What's that last one that was needed? Sun, soil, yes. Air. Why is air important? Yeah, so it can breathe, so it can get that oxygen. So sun, soil, air, water, those 4 things are basically the food needed for a plant to grow, okay? So what I need you to do now is I want you to, in those boxes, draw the 4 basic needs of a plant. And then write a sentence about what plants need.
I don't.
when plants grow, how do you think we see if they're growing or not? What do we do to see if they're growing or not? Okay, we know by part. How else do you think we could see if they're growing? What else could we do? Instead of just looking at it, what can we use? Something math related to see if it's growing. What do you think we could use? A ruler. What does a ruler do? We can measure it, absolutely. So when a plant is growing, one way that we can see if it's growing is by measuring it. So in first grade, we do not use rulers to measure. We use something called non-standard measurement. What do you think we're going to use instead of a ruler? A pencil, maybe? What else do you think we could use?
A number line?
Okay, maybe a number line. What else do you think we could use? Do you have an idea of what we could use to measure instead of using a ruler? No? What about you, Benson? No? Okay, so non-standard measurement is using anything else that you want to use except a ruler, okay? So I have some different things we can measure with. We could measure with some counting bears. We could put them on top of each other and see how many bears it's worth. We could use some counters. We could stack counters on top of each other to measure those. Or we could use paper clips to measure. Any of these things, anything can measure. The biggest thing you have to remember with non-standard measurement is making sure that when we line it up, that one end touches the other. Okay? Why don't you think we could say that is 2 paper clips? Does this show that it's 2 paper clips long?
No.
No. This shows that it's 2 paper clips long. Do you see the difference there? So you always have to make sure that non-standard measurement, they touch each other, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to give each of you one of these things to measure with. So you get the bears, you two can share the counters, and you get the paper clips. We're going to pass this paper along, and I want you to measure one of the 3 plants and tell me how many of yours it equals, okay? We're going to start with her. So go ahead and pick a plant you want to measure and see how many paper clips it's worth.
Two.
It's 2 tall. Great job. All right, let's put those back and you do your bears. You can pick any one you want to do. Three bears. Great job. All right. Pick any plant you want and see how many counters it takes. Two. Okay. And I'll let you pick another one and do the same thing with counters. You missed a part. Go all the way to the top. Great job. How many counters is that? 4 counters. Great job. Now at the bottom here, it says units. So when you have this, your units just tells me how many of what you're using. So you could have 2 units, like she had, 3 units, 2 units, and 4 units, okay? Now, since we have been learning about plants, and we've been learning about measurement, we've been growing some lima beans in the window over there, and we're going to measure those with any of these non-standard measurements which you want to. What you're going to do measure your lima bean. You're going to record a new section in this journal about how many units it was, what you used to measure, and how big you think it's going to keep going, okay? So, put your name at the top of those. Alrighty, and on the front of it, you're going to put My Plant Journal. So in your plant journal, you're going to be writing down the units you measured, what you used to measure, and how big you think it's going to grow. Now, in our bags, when we planted our lima beans, we used a paper towel as the soil. We put some water in to make sure that it had its water. We zipped it up but kept some air inside, and then we placed it in the window to make sure that it grows, and that's where it's getting its sun. So is it getting all the basic needs it needs to grow? Yes, it is. Alright, so you can go ahead and pick which non-standard measurement you want to use. So if y'all want to do the same one, that's fine. Decide which y'all are going to use. Good job. What are you going to use, Allie? First. Okay, grab them. Just grab a bunch of them so you can use them. Alright, and then I'm going to pass out. No, not yet. Let's just use the dark blue ones. Alright, so I'm going to pass out your lima beans, and you're going to measure it and then record it in your journal. Oh, right. There's yours. Okay? So go ahead and measure those and then record in your journal what you see. now they are reporting for journals about the llama being groomed. We have used both non-standard measurement, which is the mathematics part, and then we've used the plant life and basic needs as the science. They also created and engineered their llama beans to be put together when they were discovering how to make a plant grow inside of a bag. Like I said before, we used the paper towel as soil, we used water, we captured air inside the bag, and then we used the sun of the window to help it grow. Those are all steps done before this lesson.